Joe, are you ready? Falling stare. She's like, this is so weird.
She's thinking about it.
What the hell are you guys doing? All right, you guys. We've got a special podcast for you guys today. We are going to be talking nutrition, and I'm here with a couple pretty awesome guests. I've got Brittany.
Oh, hey.
And I've got Brett.
Hey.
We had a little bit of confusion earlier who I was talking to. Was it Brittany or was it Brett? Was it Brett or was it Brittany? So I'm going to make sure I pronunciate their names well.
Or just say Brittany and not Britt.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, is it Britt or Brett?
Got it.
That's one thing.
I didn't realize how often people say Britt instead of Brittany until you join the gym. And then, because then I started getting it confused with Brett all the time. And I was like, oh, people actually call me Britt. I've always hear Brittany. But anyways.
Well, I'm glad we got that.
That doesn't really matter.
Ironed out.
Yep.
All right, guys. So we are coming to the end of our Coast Range Nutrition 6-week challenge. And we wanted to do kind of a quick recap / like where do we go from here thing with the Coast Range Nutrition team. So, yeah, we've got how many days left? 11?
Oh, days.
Is it that many, or is it even less than that? Because it's
I think
a week from Monday.
Yep. So it's pretty sure it's 11 days. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Wow.
11 days left when they dunk in.
There we go.
So they're going to be doing their dunk on the 26th, which is in 11 days. And we just wanted to kind of, I don't know, talk about like how's this gone for us as coaches and some of the stuff that we've seen. And, yeah, pass that information on to you. So let's just go around, you guys, and just kind of talk about, like, okay, what are some of the things that we've seen from our clients, good, bad, awesome, ugly, and give people a little bit of information. So let's start with this. What are some common things that you guys have seen? Brittany, we'll start with you. Okay. What are some common things that you've seen with your members?
I think from the very get-go, this was, as I mentioned in the video before, something common that all three of us saw was that people were really under-eating. So we had you guys track your guys' food for a couple days on MyFitnessPal, and then when we all got that back and we took your guys' averages, the overall intake, the overall calories that a lot of people were eating was really low. It was more common to see people not eating enough than eating too much. As I said, like with my 30 people, I probably had 2 people that were like eating, like overeating. Everyone else was way under eating. So I think that was like the first thing that I was like, shoot, we really need to dive into this first more than anything else. So yeah, I thought that was a really big takeaway for us as coaches and for you guys as challengers.
What did you have any, like, because that's hard to get across to people. Yeah. And I'm still honestly kind of struggling with that with a few people where they're going like, well, I just feel like I need to have my macros adjusted. I feel like I'm eating too much, you know, and it's like this world that has been created for the last 30, 40 years that like, hey, calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
Eat less calories, work out harder, you're going to be just fine. So what are some of the things, let's go with you, Brett, that you've talked with your clients about to get them to understand, like, no, hey, you need to eat more in order to lose weight?
Yeah, it's just talking more healthy options, talking to people about, you can have that half a plate of sweet potato, or you can have a boatload of broccoli and get more macronutrients in there and feel fuller. And that was probably one of the big things, is that people were thinking, I'm eating a lot more food. And I was like, and look at this, you're losing weight. The scale's going down. I had some people just recently got tested, and their lean body mass is going up. They're dropping body fat.
Awesome.
And it's just like, and it's a huge mind shift, a mindset that I need to eat more in order to lose weight. It's such a difference in people in their mindset right now.
So, it's just like the number on the paper, the results are what's going to speak for it, right? Like I just had somebody literally yesterday, I sat down with her, and we've been really struggling with trying to get her to hit her carb numbers, because she's so used to doing this hashtag keto diet, right? That we all know how I feel about that. But And she hasn't hit her numbers at all. And she's been, and every single time she comes back and she goes, but I'm not losing weight. And I'm like, I know, and I get it, but you got to try to hit these numbers. I promise you if you do it. She did it for 3 days, came back, lost 2 pounds.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And was like, and I'm losing weight. And it's like, that's how you get people to buy into it, right? Is by seeing the results of it, but like, how do you get people even to buy into it to begin with?
Yeah, I think that's funny that you bring that up, because a big thing that I saw with, especially people who have been like quote unquote dieting a lot in the past, is that their body had, I wouldn't even say it was their body and their mind had a hard time like trusting them. So even though they might have been like hitting their numbers, it took them a little while to get the results for that weight to actually like come off. And I was like, hey, like your body at this point just doesn't trust you. Like you've done diets so many times in the past that it's basically just holding on to whatever it can because it doesn't trust you, and you got to give it time, you know, like just stick with this a little bit longer. And like, you know, for some people they would see results really fast. For those people it would take like almost 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden with that consistency then it went down. And I was like, okay, here we go, like this is like starting to happen now. And every time we change your numbers, it might hold on to it for a second, but then it's going to go ahead and release and let go. But your body is just trying to like trust you because you've done so many different things in the past. And I think that's a big mindset thing too. Like that goes back to like people thinking that less is more, and then we're giving them more, and they're like, no, this can't be right, you know, and the results aren't going to happen, and you're not going to be happy until you actually believe it.
Right.
It's so funny to me that that's a mindset for people, because what is the opposite thinking when it comes to working out?
Oh, you got to work out more.
It's like, I need to work out more. I just talked to a guy last night. Hey, so I know I'm not hitting my numbers. I know that I'm not losing weight. I know that this isn't happening. So is there anything else I could do in the gym to lose this weight? And I told him literally straight up, I said, I would rather have you not work out for the next 3 weeks and just do this program 100%. And I guarantee you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like the understanding that nutrition comes before working out. Like that is the base of everything.
Yeah, I had a person that doesn't even work out and is following the program to the T and is dropping weight and is not even working out.
Yep.
Awesome.
I have one person that actually, it was funny. That person said, I cheated on you this last week. I'm like, what do you mean you cheated on me? And they said, excuse me, I went to a lower carbohydrate diet for like a week. And so,
son of a bitch.
Right? And so I looked at their tracker. It's like,
you.
oh my gosh. It was like 15 grams of carbohydrate that person had for a couple of days. And
total?
They went down that for like per day.
Oh my God.
And so they thought that they were like, I went on this before, and I did well, so I'm going to try it again. And then that person came to me, she's like, I didn't lose anything.
Oh yeah, no, of course
not.
So
now it's like, okay, yeah, now you proved that it doesn't work. Now you're gonna go, and for the next 2 weeks now that I think that person's been kind of struggling with the whole idea.
Yeah, for sure.
And now I think they're gonna finally do it, but it's like, okay, now we got 10 days or like 11 days left. Just now you're gonna try it. Okay,
so that's a funny question. Like, have you guys had any? Because I've had one person. If you guys hear JoJo in the background, she is like going nuts on the trampoline right now, loving life. I've had one person in particular who kind of fell into the social media trap of like fasting. And he came to me one day, and I'm like, hey, man, how are things going? He's like, I don't really he's like, I feel like better energy and stuff like that. I feel like I'm, like things are going better in the gym. He's like, but I'm not seeing my abs, and I'm not seeing this and stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, like, let's start diving into this a little bit deeper. When are you eating? What are you eating? And how can we adjust maybe your timing? And he goes, well, I've been eating only 2 meals a day. He's like, I do all my calories in the morning, and then I do all my calories at night, and I fast all day long. And I was like, wait, I never told you to do that. And he's like, no, yeah, I know.
That's not on your macro prescription anywhere. That's
yeah. And I was like, wait, no. And he's like, I was like, well, why are you doing that? And he's like, oh yeah, because I've seen a lot of really good results with people who do fasting, like midday fasting, and I thought it would be a good idea. And so I had to stop and explain the science to him of insulin response. Like, if you're taking in all these calories at one time, like, does your body need all that fuel? And no, it doesn't. So what does it do? Stores it all as fat. Okay, great. Now you do it again later at night. You gorge yourself because I'm asking you to get in 300 grams of carbs a day, and at each meal you're doing that with 150 grams. Like, what's the insulin response going to be to that?
Yeah.
And you kind of saw the light bulb go off in his head a little bit, where he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, right? And I thought we were all good. And then yesterday I had a meeting with him, and he comes back in and he goes, yeah, he's like, so I'm eating 3 meals a day now. And I was like, okay, like, what does it say? And we pulled up his sheet. How many times a day are you supposed to eat? And he's like, well, I don't know. And he lifted the sheet, and I was like, 5. I'm like, 5 times a day. You're supposed to eat breakfast, a pre-workout, a post-workout, lunch, and dinner. And it's spelled out to the T on this thing. I'm like, why aren't you doing your pre and your post-workout? Oh, I don't know. I just thought if I did this, it would be better. And it's like, that was like a big eye-opening thing for me as a coach, is that I need to be more, even if I spell it out on a piece of paper, there needs to be a sit down with this person where we really go into like the very nuances of this program, and like little things like that, where people will be like, well, you know what, I'm just going to try a low carb diet, and because it worked for me before, and it's like, there needs to be more education on, hey, this is why you're eating 5 meals a day. This is why it's important to eat during these times.
Yeah, that's why compliance is so important. Like, and I think that's why we start with just a macro prescription, and then from there, like, build on that. Then you give people, like, their pre and their post, and then you start focusing on the meals and how many they're having and the timing. But like, if you can't comply with us on the very first thing, like, then we're nowhere. Like, it doesn't matter, like anything else. You have to be able to trust us as coaches, you know?
Totally. Jojo agrees. Jojo agrees.
The Jojo entertainment factor.
Yeah. Okay, so I think like consensus wise, it's been like the biggest thing we've seen is it's just hard for people to understand, like, you got to eat more. Right. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're doing CrossFit, you know what I mean? Like, you got to eat more.
Yeah.
You got to fuel yourself. You got to do it at certain times. But what are some of the big pitfalls that you guys have seen with some of your clients who maybe aren't seeing results?
Sleep.
Or maybe, sleep. Okay.
Sleep is a huge one. I've seen people that, they're not getting sleep, or they work late nights and they're not getting the sleep. And so things might be kind of slow. And it's like, okay, you're not giving yourself enough time to recover with sleep. And that's having an effect on your weight loss here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say planning in general. There was a couple of people, like a handful of people, that after like the first 2 weeks, I saw like a big change in, their boxes, and all of a sudden they're getting more green boxes. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing in order to do that? Because whatever you're doing, we need to do more of that. They're like, well, I started planning my stuff the night before and putting in my numbers the night before. And I was like, yeah, that's what we told you to do, like, at the meeting, like, if you would have listened there, you would have got that from day one. Mm-hmm. So I think like overall planning was a big thing there. I had something else, but I totally lost it.
No, I think it really just comes down to planning.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, if you can, because right now if you think about it, like, okay, we're asking somebody to take a chunk of their time each week to sit down and really plan out their meals and their timing and when are they going to meal prep and all this stuff. And that's a foreign thing to them right now. So that's adding one more thing into their life. And at first, when you add something into somebody's life, it's a nuisance. This is not what I want to do. You know what I mean? And the goal is that over time, that doesn't become a nuisance. It actually becomes something that helps you get more time throughout the week, right? So if I take the time, an hour, to sit down on a Saturday and plan out what I'm going to eat, put it in my FitnessPal, that makes my grocery list, go to the grocery store, come home, meal prep everything. I'm literally taking a half to a full day to work on just this nutrition thing. And for a lot of people, they're like, I don't want to do that for a full day.
Right.
But if you add up the time that you save Monday through Saturday, not having to prep your meals every night, not having to, like, the frustration of, I've got 70 grams of carbs left at the end of the day. What the hell do I do? Because I didn't plan this stuff out. You actually end up getting more time back during the week.
Yeah.
And you end up having more freedom during the week. But it takes this initial investment of a day as you get better at it. I don't know, how long does it take you, Brittany, now to grocery shop, meal prep, get everything ready for the week?
Oh, gosh. Don't ask me that question. I don't, because I'm not someone that like preps for the entire week. I do things kind of as I go, but that's also because I was prepping for a full-on week, and I kind of learned what times I can do things. Because I was so disciplined before, I learned what works best for me.
Gotcha. And so you found ways to like cut corners by doing it.
Yes.
And does that help you have more variety in your diet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm like the opposite. Like, whatever, just give me cardboard 7 days a week and I'll eat it. You know, like I'm cool with that. I don't really care. I don't have like taste buds, everybody says. My wife's always like, you don't have taste buds. She's like, you just whatever, you know. And I'll do that because I enjoy the freedom it gives me throughout the week. Like, I'll eat chicken 7 days a week with mashed potatoes and, you know, something else because it affords me more freedom during the week, right?
Yeah.
But if that's not something you want to do, you have to be okay with giving this more time, right? Like during the week, then you have to do it on like a Wednesday, and then you have to do it again on a Friday, and then you have to do it again on a Monday,
right.
You know? And it's like, if you want variety, which is a big thing that I keep getting from my clients, is they go like, I just don't want to eat the same damn thing every day. And I'm like, totally, I get that 100%. And I don't want to spend my entire day cooking. Totally, I get that. But if that's something that you want to do, tell me if you guys agree or not, then okay, great. This is going to take up more of your time.
Yeah. Completely.
If they don't want to prep?
No, if they don't want to eat the same things every morning or the same things for lunch, right? Like they want like a lot of variety, and they want fresh food. Like they don't want to like have stuff sitting in the refrigerator for a week, right?
Oh yeah, totally. It's going to take more time.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would say like in the morning, and I like, this is not like a ton of variety. Like I almost have like the same breakfast, lunch, pre and post. The only thing that changes around is my dinner. So in the morning, I wake up and I prep those meals. And then I leave my dinner open, and that takes me in the morning a good like hour and a half, to 2 hours. But that's what I like to do. Like it gives me joy to like spend that time in the morning doing that stuff. It's my time and I like that. But I also realized that I could prep on the weekends, and then in the mornings I could not spend all my time doing that and spend it doing something else,
Well, and also you're at a point in your life where your life affords you to do that.
Yes.
Like you don't have kids, you don't have
totally.
like a full-time job you have to be at and stuff. So like those are things that I take into account. It's like I've got a kid, I've got a business, I work for another company too. I travel on the weekends and stuff, and like I understand, like I've made the quote unquote sacrifice, which is not a freaking sacrifice if we really look at like what is a sacrifice in this world, to eat chicken 7 days a week at lunch with some mashed potatoes, because it affords me more time throughout the day to spend with Joey. Yeah,
I'm with you. I every weekend usually is we're cooking 12 chicken breasts on the grill.
Yeah.
And then I'm set for the week for dinner with chicken.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I could do is bake broccoli. I mean, like the broccoli, chicken, and some rice or some sweet potato. That's basically my dinner every night.
Yeah, and I found like what really helps me out a ton is, so like I make my breakfasts and my lunches are prepared for the week, Monday through Saturday, basically. And they're in the fridge and they're pre-portioned and they're ready to go. And it's such like a normal tasting thing that it doesn't really bother me, right? And then my dinners are what me and Megan make every night. Mm-hmm. I'm giving up a little bit of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where I'm not going to be as dialed in that way. But I'm okay with that. Like I know that like one day I'm going to get maybe 30 extra grams of fat because we had decided to have burgers that night. And the next day I'm going to get probably 30 less grams of fat because we decided to have chicken the next night.
Right.
And it's like, so my numbers are going to fluctuate. And that means that like my performance in the gym is not going to be as good as it can be. That means that I'm not going to see all the abs like I want to see. That means that I'm not going to, like my joints might hurt a little bit because I'm not optimizing what I can with my macros, but I am optimizing what I can with my life.
Yeah, and your relationship, right? That's like your and Megan's time together.
Yeah, and we don't we don't get that, to be honest with you. It's like, I'm at the gym until 7:30, 8:30 at night or whatever, and then I come home and it's like usually Megan's already in bed or not. But if we do get that little bit of time at night, like I'm not going to spend it freaking out that I'm 30 grams over my fat.
Yeah, we're sorry, Reed. Like, we're the opposite.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, you're cooking your own food or figuring out your own stuff because this is what I have to have in order to hit my numbers. And like, for me to like feel like I am on track to perform the best that I can for my goals.
Well, and Megan's been through that for 7 years now, so I'm giving her a break. You know what I mean? For the last 7 years, Megan has eaten on her own. You know what I mean? And so it's like we're past that now. But okay, cool. So I think that it just comes down to, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
And so take the time every week to sit down and come up with exactly what you're going to eat. I think this is super important. Put it into MyFitnessPal for the whole week. Like, literally spend 20 minutes putting it into MyFitnessPal every single day, typing it in, and see where that puts your numbers at.
And if you're consistent with the foods that you're eating, like the types of foods that you're eating, MyFitnessPal makes it so easy for you to just copy and paste from other days. Like, you won't be sitting on your phone for that long. Or it pairs up, like, if you eat oatmeal and blueberries, and if you plug in oatmeal, like, blueberries will pop up with like frequently paired, foods. And it makes it so much easier. But like, people don't realize that, and then they just want to do a whole bunch of different types of food, and it never gets that pairing. So then it takes just that much more time. So I think that was a big thing that I tried to tell people too. Like, let's at least get a couple days where you eat the same things, just so MyFitnessPal can like calibrate that, and then you won't have to worry about that later on. I'll just make it faster for you.
I think one of the cool, so just kind of moving on from there.
Yeah.
I think one of the really cool things that I've been able to use with, especially like the spreadsheet that you came up, Brittany, the daily tracker spreadsheet that everybody's entering their stuff in, is that it takes a very subjective topic that we have with nutrition. Like, okay, so if I go up to anybody in the world and I ask them, how's your nutrition? You get the same response every single time from every person. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, how's your nutrition? How you doing? Oh, I eat pretty good. And that's such a subjective thing, because pretty good for somebody is 3 Diet Cokes a day, and pretty good for somebody else is 10 Diet Cokes a day or whatever it is. It's like, no, I eat pretty good. I eat a piece of broccoli this week.
Yeah, with my Diet Coke.
Yeah, like I eat pretty good, and I've had people come in and they're like, I'm like, okay, hey, so how's everything going? And what is the response I get?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I feel pretty good. Like, I'm feeling this and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, hey, here's what I did. I went back and I looked at the last 34 days, and I looked at every day that you had a 100% compliance rating. And what equaled the compliance rating to me was that you hit your protein, your carb, your fat, and your water, plus or minus 5 grams for that day. And if you hit all 4 of those things in the day, you got a 1. You did it, right? If you hit your protein but not your fat, that's not a compliance day. If you hit your carbs but not your protein or fat, that's not a compliance day. And I was getting people I was like, hey, how you feeling? How's things going? Do you feel good? And they're like, yeah, I feel really good. Like, things are going good. I'm like, okay, well, you have a compliance rating of less than 1%. So less than 1% of the days that we've done, you've actually hit your numbers. And it was a really a positive thing to look at, because it's like, you're feeling really good.
And
your energy is going up. You're getting results, and you've only done less than 1% of a change. And it brought me to this new thing where now I've been telling my members, I was like, I want you to adopt the rule of 1%. Where every day can you be 1% better than you were yesterday. And if you can just be 1%, we don't need massive change.
Yeah.
We don't need you to hit your numbers every single day. I just need better than yesterday. So if you got in 100 ounces of water yesterday, I need 101 today. And then tomorrow 102. And then 103. And that over the course of a lifetime becomes, I don't know, I hit my numbers every day. Not a big deal, right? But when we expect too much of people right off the bat, that's where I think we run into issues with it. So it was just really cool to see people go like, oh my God, I haven't been hitting my numbers. Like, yeah, you're totally right. But hey, you've been seeing results already because you literally just changed 1%. So imagine if we stick with this thing, you know what I mean? For like the next 6 months or a year or whatever, that 1% turns into a 100% compliance rating. And you're freaking crushing life.
Yeah. That's super cool.
That's been one of the really big things I've seen. Okay, guys. I just want to hit on a couple more things, and then we'll get out of here. I know Brett's got to coach pretty soon. But one of the things I want to hit on before we move on is aesthetics.
Ooh.
How's that been for you guys dealing with your clients?
Man, I would say like there's definitely some people that were stuck in that, you know, like they're stuck and they have to look a certain way. And I have, and there's a lot of people too that want it all, you know, they want to look a certain way. They want to perform a certain way. But then when it came back to it, like when we really dug into it and sat down, like it would always come back to like, well, I want my abs to look like this, or I want my legs to look like that. And it's funny because a lot of these people, I don't know if this is similar to you guys. A lot of those people that I have that are really worrying about that are people that I think look really great.
For sure.
And I'm like, man, like, wait, the things that you're telling me you want, you actually already have. Like, so once you get that, do you think you're going to look in the mirror and actually see that? And like, I told one person that, and she was like, she didn't have anything to say. And I think she thought about it for the entire week. And then we sat back down together and we talked about it again. And it was pretty good. You know, like she was like, you're right. You know, I'm going to focus more on like performance things. And I was like, awesome. Like, I think that's really like a good way to go because you already have that body that you just told me about, you know? And like, honestly, there's nothing that I can give you like prescription wise, or there's no food that I can tell you to eat that's going to change your mind about that. Like you have to work on that, you know? I
mean, I don't want to be like, I'm not naive, or I'm not like, I want to look too. I want to take my shirt off and have abs and like feel good about myself. Like I'm not, you know, like I get it. Everybody does, you know, it's not the fact that we're saying that you shouldn't care about that. Because that is part of our lives. It's what gives us confidence. It's what makes us feel good. But it's getting away from the thinking about that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just getting you to understand that, like, okay, if we can get you away from just, like, chasing abs, and I need you to chase a double body weight back squat. I need you to chase a sub 6 minute mile. I need you to chase plus or minus 5 grams.
Oh, that thing will come. Like, that will come with that.
It's going to happen, right? But now you have this objective thing that you're searching for.
Yeah.
Objectively, I either hit plus or minus 5 on my nutrition day or I didn't. Objectively, I'm either getting close to my double body weight back squat or I'm not. Objectively, I'm either getting under 6 minute mile or I'm not, right? Whatever those numbers are for you, they're objective. And it either happens or it doesn't. But what is subjective is looking in the mirror and seeing if what you were saying with your client, like I look better or I don't.
Yeah.
And that's, you see yourself in the mirror every single day, so you're not going to see those changes.
Oh, I had plenty of people do that too. Like midway through, I'm like, okay, you got to send me pictures. You know, send me like midway through progress pictures.
Yeah, so I just got one from somebody yesterday, and
yeah.
we looked at them back and forth, and it was like,
oh yeah, it blows their mind because they see themselves every single day. But that's the problem is like when I ask someone like what their goal is, and I ask them why, and it always comes back to looking a certain way. Well, I need to look like this because it will make me feel stronger. I'm like, but you are saying feel stronger, like actually
feel.
Yeah. You know,
no. I want you to be stronger, not feel stronger.
Yeah. So like when you PR your back squats, you know, like you're actually stronger, you know?
I've had plenty of days where I walked in the gym, I'm like, I feel strong today, and I was not strong.
Like your abs are there today and you think you're going to hit a PR and you don't. You know?
Like that's funny, not to get too far off topic, but Megan always laughs when I go from an itty on my belly button to an outie.
I've never noticed that.
We call it the ready pop. And so when my belly button pops out, that means I'm ready to do the open or to do the regionals or to go to the games and stuff. And so like the last couple of days, my belly button's been popping out. She's like, "Hey, you're ready for the open." Like I can see it. I'm so not ready for the open. That is for sure.
I know that I haven't had anybody really worry about aesthetics, and I always just talk to each of the clients, and it's like your goal is, okay, great. You have this goal that you want to get to a certain body fat or a certain body weight, but your goal, great. Put that aside. Don't even think about that. Don't even look about that. Your goal now is to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. So if you, like you said, if you were like maybe -5 on your grams on carbohydrate, tomorrow you were going to work on getting better. We want to improve that.
Yep.
We want to improve on, working out. Let's try to make it a little better.
1%.
Exactly. Just
1%.
Don't worry about the end goal. Work on today. We want to make yourselves better today. Our goal is to make today the best we can make it.
Yeah.
Katrin, David's daughter, and her coach always talked about that they never talked about her goal was to win the games. They never talked about that at all. It was about making today the best day they can make it.
Yeah, he got that from, Ben Bergeron got that from Nick Saban, so the coach at Alabama. They never talk about the game they played last weekend. They come in on Monday, and it's all about what are we doing this next weekend. Literally, there's not a talk about penalties. There's not a talk about who messed up this thing, who did this, who did that. He talks about that with his coaches, and then they come up with an execution plan to get them to fix that. But when he's talking to his players only are talking about now what's ahead of us.
Right.
What is our goal here, and how are we going to crush this next goal? And that's it. And he's the second most winningest coach all time in history. I think that, if anything, like especially for nutrition, it's like, don't focus on what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
You screwed it up yesterday. It's over. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do right now, today, and how are you going to work today, right? And that's it. Just 1% better. That's all.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say, I wouldn't even call a day where someone is off is like a screw up day, as long as you take it and turn it around for a positive. Like,
for sure.
You go and you look up, why did you go and you went out to eat and ate this? Okay, cool, whatever. That's happened. Let's go ahead. It's not a screw up. We learn from it.
Yeah, but and why did you choose that, right? Like, what put you in that situation, and how can we learn from? That's awesome, Brittany. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Okay, guys, we got to move on. Brett has to be in the gym in 6 minutes. So, last thing I want to talk about really quick. Luckily, it only takes 1 minute and 10 seconds to drive to the gym from here, Brett.
That's true.
You're good to go. Okay, so really quick. After this nutrition challenge is over, what's going on? Coast Range Nutrition. So me, Brett, and Brittany
is a thing for real.
Yeah, you guys, this is an actual company.
I did a dance with that too, guys. I'm excited.
Yeah, this isn't a 6-week challenge, you guys. We have actually started a company called Coast Range Nutrition, and this company is not going anywhere. So we, as a company, are obviously going to keep doing this thing. So this 6-week, air quotes, challenge was really an opportunity for us to show you what our business is, like what we do as coaches, as nutrition coaches, how we treat our clients, like the results that you're going to see with the stuff that we do. So, where do we go from here, guys? What does it look like after this thing's over? What are we offering people?
Basically, continuing on where we left off. I mean, basically, what we're doing now, we're continuing on with it. If they're looking to continue, if they want to continue with the coaching that they've received, we're basically going to offer that to this point forward, going starting in March, going on, offering monthly coaching, and keeping the same price point for those that are doing this challenge.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. We're going to offer a founder's fee, basically. So if you sign up from February 26th through March 4th, March comes after February. We're going to offer you guys a lifetime membership of $129 a month. And our normal membership for nutrition coaching is going to be anywhere from $175 a month for a 6-month membership, right? Is that what we decided?
Yes.
Or $199 a month for a 3-month membership. So quite a big discount for helping us get this thing started, getting this this new Coast Range Nutrition thing started. So it's kind of a thank you for you guys, like helping us out, and then also at the same time, it's a way for us to get you guys to keep doing what you're doing and stay on this same path. I know I've had a lot of people go like, hey, I hope we don't finish this after the 6 weeks is over. Well, here you go. We aren't. And we're going to keep going with this thing. JoJo just knocked down a wine glass. So, you guys, so if you're interested in continuing on with your plan and what you're doing with us at Coast Range Nutrition, be sure to talk to your guys' coach over the next couple of weeks and let them know that that's something you want to do and you want to get on board with that founder's fee that we're going to be doing. So, that's all I got for you guys. We dunk in 11 days.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday. If you haven't scheduled it, get it scheduled.
Yep, get it scheduled, guys. Yeah, that's a good point. If you didn't schedule it last time, you better get on that NorCal Fitness wave and get that thing booked at our location at Coast Range CrossFit.
Exactly.
That's a wrap, guys. That's what Joey said.
I don't know if Joey's got her dunk schedule. I think she's a little worried now.
I know. I forgot to schedule my dunk. Oh, God. All right, you guys. If you have any questions, be sure to hit us up or hit your coach up, and we'll see you guys in the gym.
See you guys.
Later.